Hello, welcome to this stream. I'm not sure if anyone's watching. I'm not sure if anyone can hear me. If anyone is watching, please comment so I know the sound is good. You can hear what I'm saying. I don't think anyone is watching, so I think I'm talking to myself. That's fine. I'll happily do that. Anyone who knows me knows I talk to myself anyway. Sponsored by Dean Park. I'm joking. Good mates with David, so this is a t-shirt to use for modelling occasionally. So I just chucked it on tonight. Hope you don't mind, David. But yeah, thanks whoever you are. Thanks for joining me. So yeah, just a quick video to show you what I'm up to. I'm going to do a bit of modelling tonight. So if anyone's modelling and wants to join me, feel free to tell me what you're doing, what you're up to. Have a chat in the group and. Let's have a chat of while we're doing something. So it is a new TT project I'm started. I started it in the week. Just a little diorama using a WWS baseboard. I've got a length of Peco track. I've got one of the new TT Hornby Mark 1 coaches, which I picked up at the Good evening. I picked it up on Hornby and Margate. So I'm not going to do a review of the coaches and TT rolling stock. There's loads of people doing that already. And yeah, I'll show you what I've got. So just to change cameras. So if I change to the other camera now, there you go. There's the little diorama I built. So it's really, really simple. So there's the little Mark 1 coach I've got. And they are really nice. Nice detail. I'm not sure, but I might be stripping this down, taking it apart, repainting it, which is quite brave, into Great Western colours, chocolate and cream. Not 100% sure yet, but that's my thoughts at the moment. But yeah, they're a lovely little coach. They run ever so nicely on the track. Yeah, they're good. It's a nice size, nice scale. It's nice. Yeah. I'm impressed. So that's the coach, little Mark 1. The idea of built 2 platforms. So these are Peco platform edging with plastic card. Really simple construction. So there's the edging, then just a plastic card box. Normally I'd put some supports in, but because it's so small, it's only a narrow platform. That should be strong enough. So that's fits on the edge there. This is the Peco new TT station building. Again, it's a really nice little kit. Goes together quite well. I'm just using Rocky card glue to put it together. But yeah, it's a nice little kit. So that's that. The other platform, again, a bit wider, so I put some ribs underneath. Again, Peco edging, and that's just double O fencing at the back. It is overscale. It is too big. I know someone's going to comment about it being too big, but this is just I'm just playing really to see how it works, see how it looks. If it's too big, the wall at the back, I'll get rid of it. The fence, I can change it, put something else in its place. This is a Peco double O bridge retaining wall, and again it's just built from the Peco, built in 2 pieces. That's just a normal Peco. That's top of the wall, and that's just Peco sheets. But again, it makes a nice structure. It's been lowered down, so it's lower. It's lower to the coach, so it's not the full height. But again, it's probably a bit overscale, the brickwork is, but it doesn't look too bad. So again, I'm playing. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it's a little diorama, and it doesn't really matter, does it? We've had a play, we've had a go. Again, this is one piece, again built same. So you got some pavements in there. So I think that might be double O platform. It's either double O pavement or it's engaged pavements. It's quite small, but it's just off cut side left. So just using scraps. done the curbstones. I've done from just plastic card strip, and again, just a quick. There's the build inside. So it's really simple modelling, and it just drops in together. So yeah, what does everyone else think? Does it look right? Does it look overscale? Does it look underscale? Obviously TT is it's 1/120, so it's sort of 2.5 mil to the foot. Yeah, that's my thought. To be fair, Andy, it's just a 10-foot high fence rather than a standard 6-foot high fence, and it doesn't look too bad behind the station building. So yeah, that's my thoughts entirely. But yeah, what else do you think? Does it? What do you think? Ballasting. I've done the ballasting here, and again, I've used 2 different types of ballast. I've used the Woodland Scenics fine, and I've used a medium ballast. That's the medium there. If I can show you that, the buff puddle ballast is like a medium, and that's a fine. I think the fine is a bit too small. Probably look better with Engage, but maybe the medium is a bit too coarse. But again, once it's weathered, I've given the track a coat of sleeper grime. I've dry brushed the sleepers to give them a bit more of a faded look. I don't know how well that come out, but yeah, it's just a bit. It's an experiment. It's a bit of a play, and most of all, I'm just enjoying myself playing with, doing a bit of modelling. So yeah. What, TT's too small? It's not too bad. It's I'm mainly modelling O gauge now, and I obviously did the O gauge, the double O modelling for at Worley for the Margate Warren that went to the NEC, which was good fun. And this is just a bit different. I don't think I like to do Engage. I've done a little Diorama in Engage before, but to me it's a bit small. But I think this will make a lovely small layout just to have trains running through. And I don't think I'd want to do shunting with this, but just have trains running through a scene. I think it'd look really, really good. Thanks, Andy. So yeah, it's been good fun. So like I said, these are all out of the Peco double O rolls range, which are really good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a bit of painting. So I'm going to move this out of the way before I get paint on that. Like I said, I do plan to paint it at some point, but I've got no intention of planning to paint it today. So I'm going to start with just this piece here. That's the easiest bit to repair or replace if I make a balls up of it, really. So what's everyone up to tonight? Anyone doing any modelling? Anyone got anything on the workbench while we're on the video? So in terms of painting this, I'll do something completely different, something I've never done before. It's a Dan Everson technique I watched on one of his videos. It's basically using acrylic paints from the range. So I did raid the range this week. They haven't got a massive selection of paints, to be fair. They've only got a few. So I've got burnt sienna, raw umber, burnt umber, and some Payne's grey. So what we're going to do, I'm going to make myself a small paint palette on this piece of foam board. Like I said, I've never done this before, so if it goes completely tits up, it is Dan Everson's fault. I'm not taking any responsibility. But no, that's the idea of the videos. If I do it and make a mistake, you can see me do it. You can all laugh at me, and hopefully we'll all learn from it. And yeah, it's all a bit of fun. So all I've done is a bit of the burnt sienna paint onto there, and I'm just going to give it onto the brick. Just paint it on. I don't normally do paint brushing, so I normally do everything by normally do everything with an airbrush, to be fair, so this is quite new for me. I might change the paintbrush because this is falling apart already. That's a bit naff. Yeah, try a different paintbrush because that one's just a cheap naff one from Hobbycraft, and it's leaving more bristles on the plastic than it is on the actual brush, which isn't a good start. But yeah, just going on, do this, work in a small section. Obviously, because it's a plastic and it's got sort of relief in it and it's moulded, I don't want to go too deep with too thick a coats with the paint. I want to sort of build up the layers, so I keep the plastic. So I've got, when I do the mortar wash, I've still got something for the mortar to sink into. So I'm going to go try a bit of this burnt sienna just to change the colours. So I want to do it when it's all kind of wet, so the colours sort of so you get different colours and textures in the brick. Because when you look at a brick wall, brick walls not all the same colour. There's lots of different colours and variation in the colour of the brick. So I'm trying to build it up. Different textures, different colours, so you get. So I've got a bit of everything on this palette now, paint palette. Like so, we'll just go in with that colour. So stippling effect again, just changing the colour. Just pick up a bit of the brown. It might look a complete mess to start with, but obviously let it dry, and hopefully by the time the mortar wash is on, it will you'll bring it all together really. So yeah, has anyone else used this technique before? Does it work? How am I doing it right? Okay, I haven't decided I'm going to do the mortar wash yet. I did try to get the buff titanium that Dan used, but they haven't got any in stock, so that's really darkened it off now. That's the, so again, go along the bottom edge with that because it's going to be darker. Yeah, how's that looking? Is that looking about right? No, I'll come back the airbrush on it to dry it out a bit quicker. Obviously, completely different technique to what I used when I did the stones on the O gauge, where I was picking out individual bricks. That seems to takes forever to do it that way. This is going to be obviously a lot quicker, but it's, it'd be interesting to see how it works compared to what I've done in the past. Painting the desk as well, but I can cope with that. Okay, so just use a kitchen towel to sort of dab it off, sort of like that. Yeah, so it's different, isn't it? Like I said, it's the first time I've done it like this. I just normally use an airbrush and paint like a brick red colour, and then do a bit of dry brushing. So this is definitely different to how I normally would do things. But so far it's good. It's fairly quick. It's a very quick way of doing it. Yeah, I guess it's not really. I suppose it's every wall is different, and I suppose everyone's got their own ways and techniques of doing stuff. Yeah, like I said, this is the first time I've tried the way Dan does it. And Dan's got a video, a channel, Tunnel Lane, Model Railways. I think he's only got a few videos up, but he's got some fantastic content. I've just ordered some model sheep and some people from Yo Gauge. A fisherman angler from Model U, and I know Dan's quite friendly with Model U, and he does a lot of work for them. And again, Dan did a lot of the people on Margate Warren, painting the people for us, and he's a fantastic modeler, fantastic painter. If you want people painted, he's definitely your man to go to, because he's so good. Yeah, so that's where I don't know how well it's coming out with the light. It looks quite brown on the camera on the screen, but it's more orangey red in real life. I'm jury's out on that one. I like my airbrush, and I can get some really good techniques with an airbrush using paints, and I never use a solid colour whenever I'm painting with an airbrush. I don't tend to like solid colours, so I tend to start with a basic colour, and then I'll either fade it, or so I had like a pale, well, depending on what painting colour it is, but either a paler colour to lighten it, or a darker colour to darken it. And I do a lot of sort of pre-shading, post-shading, to make whatever I'm doing look more realistic. I hate seeing solid colours, because nothing is solid. I got this Lima I think it's a Lima high mech, and I'm just playing with this. But again, that's how it starts, with different shades. The primer with light and dark colours in, and then when you go over with the blue, you get a really nice, sort of mottled, faded finish. I never try and do a solid colour if I can help it. Again, it can look quite sort of plasticky if you're not careful. But there you go. Yeah, I suppose it's what you get used to. I only ever used an airbrush. I've ever used a paintbrush to start with, and I got an airbrush. Really watching sort of the Diorama modelers and the and some of the Airfix modelers using airbrushes. I thought I'll give it a go, buy a cheap one, and I've been hooked ever since. To the point almost where I forgot to know how to use a paintbrush, and every time I looked at my paintbrush, I thought I couldn't get the same quality of painting from that as I do with my airbrush. So you sort of move away from it, and then you've almost got to relearn how to use a paintbrush again. Yeah, so just working my way along now. I suppose the good thing with this is, again, I'm just thinking on my feet now. I suppose if it does look a bit too dark or a bit black, you can just go in and add a bit more colour or change the colour slightly, and change it. So, anyone else doing any modelling? What they've been up to this week? Anyone entering the WWS modelling competition? Have you made a start? I've bought a Sea King, but it's still in the box under my feet here. I've not even started it yet. If Martin's watching, apologies. Yeah, I think Dan said that. He said once you finish the the brick colours, to give it a layer of matte varnish, which I've got. I've got some Hornby matte varnish somewhere. So yeah, matte varnish it, seal it before you start adding the mortar lines, the mortar coats. So I've got some Woodland Scenics concrete, so I might give that a go and see how that sort of how that looks. So yeah, anyone entering the WWS modelling competition? Anyone want to give away some of the secrets of what they're up to, what they're building? Is anyone else going to have a go at doing TT? That's another question. That's quite a good question to ask. Is anyone having a go? What do they think? Is it a good idea to bring in a new scale, or is it sort of or do you think it's going to be the a bad move for the hobby? I think it's good. It's if it attracts people into the hobby who wouldn't take on N gauge because it's been too small, and double O is too big because they haven't got the space, the size of the house. I think it anything that's modelling and gives people an excuse to build a model railway or do some sort of modelling I think is a good thing. So what do you all think? Definitely finding this paintbrush a lot better than that cheap nasty thing I got from the this was from Hobbycraft, and it's crap. There you go. How's that looking? Okay. Let's put some pictures on of the shed. Which one is it? Is it what scale is that? Double O, or is it O gauge? Or I like those line stuff. It's good. I've got on my O gauge. I've got the Helian O gauge TMD shed, and yeah, it's a nice shed now, but it was a pain in the backside to build. I spent more on plastic art to strengthen it than I did on the actual shed. It was a white ball ache, but the bits what I've used the laser lines is absolutely spot on. I've got the cabin, the workshop cabin building that Steve's designed, and it's brilliant. And I'm hoping to have the eventually when I get back onto working on my O gauge layout, I want to work on the I want to get the yard lights because again they look really smart. Hi Ian, how you doing? Thanks for joining me. So we'll have a chat about modelling, and if you're able to anything or doing anything, yeah, just dive in and have a say what you're up to and what you're doing. So just trying to bit more colour in there, just yeah, I think I'm going to leave that now for there and just leave it as it is. The capping stones I'm going to do and pick out a different colour. So I'm going to leave that and bring in the rest of the bridge. Before I do the rest, I'm going to just mask off the paving. So one thing less I need to look at, worry about. So now I've been doing any modelling this week. Anything exciting? Any news? Any new purchases? So I'm hoping to do this maybe every Saturday. If you know, if there's enough interest and people want to join me for an hour just while I do some modelling, get paint on my finger. There you go. I told you there'd be some sort of mistake or cock up. Yeah, so if anyone wants to join me and make this a regular thing on an hour just to get someone to have a chat with and have a laugh while you're modelling, I'm happy to do this every week. And if you want to join me, you join me. If you don't bother me. I'll still do it anyway. I'll still be here modelling. So yeah, so just get the okay, thanks Andy, that's a good idea. So yeah, so basically let it dry. So using the same paints or using something else. So yeah, I get that about doing the highlights and lowlights sort of thing. So yeah, I can try that. So it's still quite tacky at the moment, so hopefully by the time this is done, it'll be ready. It should be dry by then. I don't think I'm going to get the mortar on today, but I'm in no rush. Maybe save that for next week so we can have another laugh at something going wrong next week. But so okay, brilliant. Okay, so yeah, I've got the lighter shades, and again, I'm quite happy mixing colours and paints on the mixing colours together to get like a different effect. How long to leave it to dry, Andy? It took, it is going on fairly dry. I'm not doing it very wet, not very thick, so a couple of hours to dry, or we leave it overnight before you do the the matte varnish. Okay, get you. So put the varnish on, let the varnish dry, then do the highlights and lowlights, varnish it again, and then do the mortar wash after that. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, I'll probably do the varnish tomorrow. If I get this painted now, I'll do the varnishing tomorrow, and then I'll leave it then for a week, and then probably do a bit more work. I might do the highlights and lowlights then during the week, and then I'll do the mortar wash next week. Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, it's an old Lima. It's an old Lima body shell. My mate's Ian Carter. You might have known him on some of the exhibitions. He does a second-hand stand, selling second-hand stuff, and he's got about 5 of these. I don't know where he's got them from, and I just had nick one off him, and I said I'd paint it and let him have it back. So yeah, I don't know why I picked these things up, and I just agreed to do it. But yeah, it's something different, just a bit of fun. So it's quite good this year. Like I said, it's the first time I've ever done it this sort of way with doing brick, and it's not too bad. It's not too tedious. Like I said, I've done it where I've painted individual bricks and picked out different colours, and it's I've done dry brushing technique and like I said airbrush, and then picked out like bricks and stuff. But it's sort of this isn't too bad. So like I said, I'm not forward to this. It's I've seen Dan do it, Dan Everson. So it's thank him really. He's the one who's I'm sure he's learned off somebody else or watched someone else do it to learn as well. So I suppose none of this is brand new. It's all we've all sort of looking at what everyone else does and copy people and nicking ideas and. So a lot of my techniques I've learned are fun watching armor modelers, people building tanks and dioramas, and they are so good at doing really detailed small areas extremely well. Which is for me in railway modelling, you tend to do a big area. You do a big area and then you go back and add details afterwards, whereas these guys do go to massive detail in a small area. It just seems to be completely different to what the way we do it as model railways. So yeah, again, I don't think, to me it looks quite brown on the camera, but it's more orangey red in real life. Okay, what are you doing with your egg? What are you going to do? Modern image? Or are you doing? Is it diesel, steam? Is it going to be an exhibition layout? Is it going to be, or are you going to just be a home layout? How much space you got? Yeah, I think I'm going to end up making a mistake somewhere, Andy. So yeah, it's not a bad idea to do that, to be fair. So if you've been with me from the start, thanks for joining me tonight. Like I said, it's the first time I've done a Saturday live video, and like I said, I've just finished work. I had my tea. I thought, what the hell? I'll come on for an hour. Like I said, it's more you guys keeping me company rather than an educational or a how-to video. Like I said, I'm not going to take credit for someone else's work and someone else's techniques. I'll quite happily tell you where I picked up the ideas off and known enough. I've got no sort of pattern for doing this. I've got no sort of for what I'm doing it. I'm just sort of making it up as I go along, really. It's almost like a feeling. It's like I suppose a bit like sort of Jedi. You feeling what looks right, what feels right, and just do it. So yeah, I really appreciate the people that have come on and said hello tonight, and especially Andy. Thanks for your advice, and it's been good chatting with you. So thank you very much.
No problem.
Even my watch is joining in on the chat then. So these paints are quite good, aren't they? So they're not expensive. They're quite cheap paints, and the coverage on them is quite good, really. For the I must say, I'm impressed. For cheap paints, and I bought really expensive paints, and the pigment hasn't been as good as this. So. So anyone got any plans tomorrow? Anyone going to Stratfold Barn next weekend for the Model Railway Show? I'm going to try and get there if I can. If I can get a day off work, I'm going to try and go either Saturday or Sunday. I'm not sure yet which day. It depends if they let me have time off work. But anyone else planning to go? I know Double O'Neill's building an hour gauge layout, which is he's going to be taking. He's exhibiting there next week, so that should be good. Tony Strands Rugby are going to be there. Worley have got a club stand, so I think we may have tickets for sale for November. So if you want to go and get your tickets, if they've got them for sale or if they've managed to get some, I think we've got some. I'm 99% sure we had some at Scotland, so they should have. The Worley stand should be there, and I'm sure if you ask them. Even if they can't get tickets to you, I'm sure if you leave a name and address, they'll post some to you. If you want to go down that route, if you're happy to do that. But I'd have thought they'd have had some tickets available. So that's the 25th, 26th of November. If anyone wants a date, that's booked. It's booked with the NEC. The contract has been signed, so unless we get an earthquake or something of that sort of magnitude, that should happen. So that's again something to look forward to. We've got 80 plus layouts booked for the show. Centerpiece full-size locomotive is booked. I know the Centerpiece full-size locomotive, but I'm not sure if I can tell you what it is. Obviously, all the major brands are going to be there. So Hornby, Peco, Batman, Acura Scale, Dapol, Rapido, Cavalex, they're all going to be there. So hopefully we're going to have some new product launches. Like I said, 80 plus layouts. But if you're going to go, make sure you book your tickets in advance because it's cheaper, and definitely book your car parking in advance because it's cheaper. Save yourself some money. Oh, good. So I did ask Martin about doing a stand again, like we had last year with his members' projects on, but it's a bit of a nightmare looking after it, to be fair. So I don't know if that's going to happen or anything is going to happen like that this year. Maybe something to nag Martin about, but maybe we'll be able to put something on the WWS stand. Oh, good. So if you see me, come and say hello next week at Stratfold. It's good. Obviously, good that the exhibitions are busy. It's good to see people getting back to almost normality after COVID. It took a while to get back to normality. Some sort of normality. So was it just? Is it just busy because of lots of people, or has it had they changed something? Had the aisles got smaller, or was it just really, really busy? I've never been to that one. Hello, mate. How you doing? Just been talking about you. Yeah, just been talking to you. Just talking about Stratfold and that you got a 009 layout to go. No pressure now, is there, to get it finished? When's your next video out, Trish? If you want to put a link to your channel in the chat, people can see what you've been up to. I'm just doing the Dan Everson technique with the range paints, and first time I've done it in anger. Well, it's the first time I've done it. I raided the range earlier in the week, so I know you did something similar with yours. What do you think, Trish? How's it looking? So just to recap on the colours, I've got all of these are from the range. So I've got raw sienna, I've got burnt sienna, burnt umber, raw umber, and Payne's grey. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with the colours, and I'm using different colours to get sort of different techniques and different sort of tones in the brick. If it's anything like I've done before, it looks a bit of a mess to start with, and I tend to find it looks better once you add the mortar wash. It tends to bring everything together and give it a better look rather than just patchy and sort of patchy. Yeah, I've got some matte lacquer. I've got some Humbrol. I've got some Humbrol somewhere. I've got a bottle can somewhere of Humbrol varnish, matte varnish. So I'm going to give it a good coat of that when I've finished. Once it's dry, I'm going to give it a coat of that and then seal it all in before I do the mortar wash or the mortar paints. Whether I do Dan's technique with the paint and just paint it off and wipe it off with my finger, or I do a thin down paint and sort of go over it that way. I don't know yet. I've got a sample, so I might have a play with this, the water washes, and do maybe that bit like a wash, that bit with paint, and see what looks the best. Mortar wash is great, but it tends to be a pain in the ass to put on and take off, especially because I normally leave it to dry before I sort of do anything. So how you get on with yours, Trish? What you been up to tonight? You been modelling or? Yeah, I've tried that one before, polycell, polyfillers and stuff. Do you add any colour to the polycell, polyfiller, or do you leave it as white, or do you sort of change it to more of either a grey or a creamy grey? So do you change the paint, the polyfiller colour, or do you mix any paint into it just to? Oh, good. So I love seafoam. Seafoam's brilliant for making trees. It's brilliant stuff. It's especially when you compare it to the cost of ready-made off-the-shelf trees, which for me are quite expensive. I think they're quite expensive for what they are. But you get a really nice sort of, for a box of trees, you can get quite a lot out of it. So I think they're really good value for money. And one thing I've always struggled though is trees, is making good winter trees. Anyone got any advice on winter trees? I think you've done some really good dios, haven't you? In winter dioramas, Andy. That one you bought at the show was fantastic. What do you do for winter ones? Just wire and like brass wire trees, or? sorry, it's banging around, tapping away. Okay, so just add a bit of, but just use like an acrylic paint, a yellow, like a soft yellow paint to it. And do you thin the polyfiller, or do you just do it as neat and straight over? Oh no, okay. So yeah, I did that for the my O gauge one. I did for the rusty rails. I used brass wire, and then I used odd bits. You know, the box of seafoam you get at the bottom of the box, all your bits and stuff. I just super glued the seafoam to the wire, and then just sprayed it with a mixture of like sleeper grime and greys, just for different colours, techniques, textures, and then just add your leaves. So yeah. So just leave it, I suppose, as the branches, and then just add snow to it, so snow effect to it. I suppose that could work. I'm doing great, thanks, David. This is just a little sideline project I'm doing. Like I said, I'm just doing a TT project. It's actually why I'm actually entering Hornby. If you remember the TT club, Hornby have announced a competition in the last magazine to do a TT diorama. So I'm just doing that for a bit of fun, So I don't think it's got to be in by November. So I'm going to maybe spend an hour a week for the next sort of 3 or 4 months, and then I'll get it done that way. Okay, so just do a bit at a time. Okay, I might try that as well with the maybe that's one for next week. So if I get the brickwork sort of let it dry, I'll varnish it, and then next Saturday I've got the sample there, and I'll do the 3 different ways. So maybe polyfiller, the wash, and the paint, and I'll see what looks best before I hit the main build. Yeah, I see what you mean about taking sometimes taking some of the paint off, because sometimes it goes a bit thick, doesn't it? So it's yeah, I'm definitely going to try in the samples, to be fair, and yeah, I don't mind. Now she's looking I'm quite happy with this way this is looking. So before I started, I wasn't really bothered if it looked a mess, but now I'm quite pleased with how it's looking. I don't want to make a mess of it. I've got the platform sides too, so I don't think I'm going to use these colours, but I might do same sort of technique, but more sort of greys, I think. Again, I'll think about that. I don't know. I may use this on it. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. And so, doing all this, I don't even know what I'm doing with the. I might even add grass embankments anyway, so I might hide some of this. So you're painting? Yeah, I'm just painting. Just painting a bridge and a wall for the TT Diorama. So if you once the video finishes, if you watch the first sort of few minutes, David, you'll see what I'm up to, what I'm doing, and I sort of go into the project. Show you the project, and I'll show you the walls and the diorama in full, so you can see what I'm up to. So you've only got to watch the whole video, just the first 4 or 5 minutes really, and you'll get an overview. What I might do, I'm going to wrap it up in about 5 minutes time, because you got fed up of listening to me, and I want something a bit stronger than water, because I've got cancer pop at the moment, so I'm going to have a beer. I think I deserve one after I've been at work all day. So yeah, I might bring the diorama back up and I'll show you what it, with the wall on, how it looks and the difference it makes by adding a bit of colour. Obviously the ballast is grey, and it needs weathering, but it'd be nice to change the platform walling to give it a slightly different look, so it doesn't look, it's not all greys. And yeah, let me know what you think. So I do the platforms in the platform is the stone. So do I do the platforms in these colours, or do I go for a different colour for the stone? Do I go for like a grey colour? Yeah, that's that. Even I did. That's how it looks so far. So like I said, it's definitely more redder and orangey in real life. It looks quite brown on here, but I'm sure once the mortar wash on it will lighten it all up again, and it will change the colours again. And I've got to say how impressed I am with these Peco kits. They're like, that bridge was, I think the bridge was 15 quid. And they're fantastic for the money. They really are a nice kit. They take paint really well. They go together really well. That part's a bit of a pain in the arse to do. You really got to take your time. You've got to. It's almost you glue it, do a bit, glue it, let it dry, let the glue dry, and then go back and do a bit more. You can't really rush it. But they are fantastic kits for the money. And yeah, if you're going to staff, did you say you're going to Stafford, David? If you are, you should see Trish's layout at the show. Yeah, he'll be there next weekend. So again, go and say hello to him. I'm sure he appreciates people popping in to speak to him and see him. And I don't know if he's still on the chat or he's in the group, if he's still around. So there you go. Do you want me to stay on? Do you want me to stay on a bit longer, or do you want me to? Are you all getting fed up? I've got 6 people watching now, so do you want me to carry on with the stream, or? You'll be alright, mate. Just keep plugging away. You'll find it'll just all of a sudden it'll just come together, and it'll just be, yeah, it just comes together, don't it? And if you don't, you take it with go with what you've done, and as long as you've got scenery on all over the layout, it won't look too bad. It's as long as you've got some sort of scenery, even if it's only a very basic scenery, you'll look alright. You'll be alright on the day. How many trees have you made, Trish? Have you made lots? Have you made a full forest, or is it just Have Absolutely. It always is. There's no point worrying about it. Just think you could be building it for Wally next week with 15,000 visitors coming to look at it. You get a few sleepless nights with that one. I know I've had a few sleepless nights. Think, in the build up to Wally shows. Good stuff. I suppose it's better to make too many than not enough, and then worry about it afterwards. Can I share the picture, Trish, before I show the picture you sent me? Can I show this picture on? Can I show the picture? Can I just show the picture that you sent me, or I won't show it before you say yes or no? I've not used any curves. I've only done a straight piece of track, to be fair. So I've not played with curves yet. I would be tempted to, if I was depending on what I was doing, I'd be very tempted to use set track curves. If you can hide if it's quite tight, if you can hide it under tunnels or disguise the curve, I'll probably use set track curves. But if you're going to do big sweeping curves, which is something I prefer to use, I'll let you know how I get on with it. Like I said, I'm not. This is just straight track I've used so far. So there you go. There's the video picture Trisha sent me. So it's making trees. Oh wow! And there's the bridge. Absolutely top work, my friend. Superb, brilliant. Looks really impressive. So there you go. There's a sneaky peek at when's the video for this coming out. We're going to get a video on your channel soon. Like I said, don't forget to post a link to your channel in the comments. And anyone who's got any YouTube channels they want to share, the idea tonight is have a chat and a conversation, and just share. Everyone shares the contents and their own channels, and a bit of a community sort of thing. Because you might be channels I've not subscribed to, and vice versa. And if there's a channel, just give them a sub, follow them along, give them a bit of encouragement, because that's what we're all here for. We're here to encourage each other and support each other in this great hobby. Oh, brilliant. So if you haven't subscribed to Double O'Neill, subscribe. And it's got some fantastic footage. Have you got a stand number yet for next week, or do you know whereabouts you're going to be in the at Stratfold? Is that so you can get a cup of tea whenever you feel like it? The best advice I can give you is take plenty of drink, take a flask, take something, because if it's anything like when I've had this layout, you talk for England. I thought I talked a lot. Obviously, I work in retail, so I'm talking to customers all day. But talking at the hall at the NEC, I find it's hard work. It really does. I'm not saying the visitors are hard work, but it seems a lot worse. I seem to talk a lot more at a show than I do. I'm at work. Then I get paid to talk to people at work. So yeah, make that as you think, as you will. But it does seem you seem to be. You're trying to. I don't know what it is. I don't know how and why it works like that. But it does seem to be a lot more talking when you're at a show. So yeah, make sure you've got plenty of liquid, plenty of thing, and guarantee the minute you start turning your back, something will go wrong. Something will come off the track. Something will derail. Something won't go to plan. So you need an eyes up your ass. So there we go. So yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. The way it's looking, the way it's drying. So there's the. Like I said, I'm going to do the capping stones along the top are going to be a different colour. So I'm going to pick them out with maybe a stone colour. I think that might change, but I think I'm going to do a stony colour, stone effect, and you just make them pop a bit more. Has anyone seen? Quick question for the collective. Has anyone seen any TT lights, station lights, street lights? I've looked at kites lights, and they've got some. Again, they've got double O and they've got Engage, but they've got nothing sort of TT yet. So, has anyone seen any TT lights they can recommend? It'd be nice to add street lights into it, and do I add lighting to the coach? Do I add interior lighting? That could be an interesting one. I suppose if I do that, then I've got to add power to the track and droppers to the track, which I should have done really before I glued and ballasted it down, which is probably a bit late now. But yeah, but if I'm taking it apart to paint it, repaint the coach, do I add lighting at the same time? Tempted to add passengers. That might be a good one to add, just to. But if you're adding passengers, I suppose you need to add lighting, really, don't you? Then. Okay. Has anyone watched the Hornby virtual members day today? Anyone been watching any of the content? If you did, you may have seen me on some of the footage. I was doing some weathering for them and some. Weathered a wagon and a coach. So, did anyone watch the content today? Get involved? Normally, I've been at work, so I've not seen any of it. So I'm just wondering what it was like, if anyone's been, seen any of it, or got involved, or seen any of the footage, or what. I know Pete Waterman was on earlier, so I seen he was around today. Like I said, I did a bit for Worley for them. So I filmed a few hours of footage of me weathering a wagon and a coach, and I sent that to them. I've probably got some pictures if I look on my computer somewhere. Maybe I might get them ready for next week to show you what I did for them. So if anyone's free next week, I'll try and I'll put it on probably about 7:30 again. If anyone wants to join me, and I'll get the pictures posted. I'll just check with Hornby to make sure they're happy. From which shows what we've done. But I'll try and share it with you. I can't see it being a problem. There you go. So what I'm going to call it a night in a sec. So I'm going to carry on with this off camera, but I'll just bring the diorama back up so you can have a look at what it looks like with the walling and everything in place. So let's move this to one side for now. So those that missed it earlier can have a look. So there you go. There's the WWS baseboard. So you got your two platforms. So there's the front. That's Peco TT platform side. So that just drops in like that. That drops in on this side there. Really simple construction. Just a bit of plastic card. I'm going to do some texture on the roof, on the part where you walk. I'll go do something with these. These just been primered. You've got your that will go there, like something like that. That goes something like that. So again, needs tidying up and sorting out, but yeah, and what a difference that bit of colour makes on the walls, you know. And then you got your building, could you go something like there? Probably could put some street lights, some and then yeah, there's the coach. So it doesn't look too bad. So I'm quite pleased with tonight's progress. There's a few little spots I've noticed where there's still grey coming through. So along there, it's things you see when you change the angles and move it around. And I'm spending ages spending just as much time doing this side as this side, and I can hardly see. Never mind. At least I know it's been done. Probably going to add some sort of photographic back scene to the back, just a bit of sky and possible. Yeah, maybe add a mirror behind here, so when you look through, you'll look like you look like you're going somewhere. I don't know. I'm still playing. So there you go. That's me for tonight. Like I said, I've done just over an hour and a quarter. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me change the camera back. Yeah, there you go. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. I'll be back hopefully next week about 7:30 again. Spend another hour. So if you've got some modelling to do, sit down, have a chat, and glass of pop, and do a bit of modelling together. So thanks for joining me. See you all again next week, hopefully.